Race number 8. This is the big one on Sunday afternoon. It is the BMW Hong Kong Derby for 2020, the final leg of the 4-year-old series, headed by Golden 60, who's won the first 2 legs. He's unbeaten in 6 starts so far this season. Champions Way, who was 3rd in the mile, then 2nd in the Classic Cup. More than this, 2nd in the mile, then 3rd in the Classic Cup. Private Secretary, impressive on debut at Happy Valley, hasn't backed it up since. Playa del Puente might roll forward. Columbus County run up to Amazing Beats last time out. Super Oasis behind Amazing Beats, and then Butterfield to start before that. Amazing Beats is a course and distance winner, only by a nose, but it is a nose. Reliable team will roll forward, as will World Famous, you'd imagine, from barrier number 6, and Savvy 9 should mention as well for John Moore, a 6-time John Moore, 6-time winner of the Derby. Savvy 9 is his representative this year.
Speed, there won't be any hot speed in the Derby, I don't think, of 2020. World Famous and Playa del Puente look to be sort of the likely two there. Reliable team is exactly that. He's reliable in terms of where he can sit. Savvy 9, now you've sort of got a few runners there on the 3 wide line, including Golden 60. Now, more than this is interesting because he's drawn a good gate of gate number 1. I think he can sit a lot handier, maybe in about 5th or 6th on the rail there, but a lot handier, maybe in front of Amazing Beats. And it's interesting to note that Decrypt and Butterfield are both go-forward horses, but they've drawn awkward gates.
Thought I'd show some of the big boys in the Derby. Here's Golden 60, who's, I'd be shocked if he doesn't start favourite. He's the one closest to us. He moves nice and comfortably and works well, and he's all systems go. As you imagine with all these ones, this is their race. Champions Way does it nice enough as well. Just even work for him. Like his 2nd behind Golden 60 was good last start, and he looks cherry ripe, as you'd expect. This is all these horses' grand final. And more than this, nice, big, strong horse that he is, Zach Purden aboard, drawn barrier 1. Cheek pieces will go on. You can see him wearing them there, and he seems to be going pretty well with those cheek pieces on.
Interesting. So the first time he'll wear those. He started off in blinkers when he first arrived here in Hong Kong, but he's done his winning without any headgear. Let's have a look at the Classic Cup, then the last major lead-up race into this. Golden 60 blew them off the track. More than this, Zach tried to get that first move. Coming around the outside, we've got Champions Way, Playa del Puente and World Famous also included. Yeah,
he was just terrific again. Once he was just so patient, Vincent Ho, were just on heels there, had to wait for the gap to open up, and then it finally opened up to the inside of More Than This, who had taken off down the side there to try and make it a real staying contest. It was a really good run in the end from More Than This. And Champions Way, I've just got that little reservation of whether he's a genuine 2,000-metre horse.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a good run from More Than This. He probably, you know, they just changed the tactics around a little bit. 2,000 metres looks ideal for him. Golden 60's done nothing wrong, and he's going to be the 2nd horse in history to do the the 4-year-old series. So it's going to be a great race.
It is, certainly. All right, well, Champions Way, Tom just touched on then. Let's hear from his trainer about the trip and the race, John Size.
John, Champions Way, barrier number 8. Is that a good result?
I think it's okay for him and his racing style. He go forward a little bit, and I think, you know, there's 4 or 5 horses there that'll show decent speed, so hopefully he'll be midfield.
Looking at his last run in the Classic Cup, did he stay the 1800 or was he run down by a better horse on the day?
I think he's run down by a better horse on the day. I mean, obviously the 1800 looked as far as he wants to go, but Golden 60 being our champion at present, he sprints quickly and he puts him away fast. So I think that he just sort of showed his authority, the winner.
So with that in mind, have you got a bit of a doubt about him over 2,000 metres, your horse?
I think there's a distance doubt about him running the 2,000, but he has got a nice rolling action, and even though he's a Hinchinbrook, I think that he's probably going to acquit himself well. He's going to race well, and if he has a bit of luck, he might just get the trip.
Last season, he ended the season on a very high rating for a 3-year-old, so you didn't need to get the rating up to get him into the Derby. Have you been training him with the point of having him peaking for this 4-year-old series and this race particularly?
Well, it's always nice to think that that's going to happen, and he hasn't been stressed much since he acquired that high figure. So, you know, I think he's coming along nicely. His 2 runs against the 4-year-olds have been adequate, and I think he's right in the race.
Of course, last season he was Champion Griffin and Most Improved Horse. As far as the trip's concerned, I think Douglas White might have hit the nail on the head. They're all in it together. It's the 4-year-olds all racing each other, so that helps to some extent. Yeah,
it certainly does. And you look at horses like More Than This, the way he finishes off, he looks like he'll certainly eat up the 2,000 metres. But I think probably what we've seen from Champions Way, 1,800 metres might be his limit, but you don't know until you've tried.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember thinking the same with Luger, and Luger came out and won the Derby. Fei came out and won the Derby, both trained by John Size. So, look, John Size has got this horse cherry right. He's going to get his opportunity, I've got no doubt.
All right. What about a horse like Decrypt? Certainly question marks about his stamina because he hasn't raced over the 2,000 metres as yet.
Yeah, this is one I'll be more worried about because he's got a really full-on sprinting pedigree and he's drawn 14 as well. So, look, I haven't got him in. I don't think the Derby's right for him.
No, I don't think it is either. Big question marks over the 2,000 metres. They bypassed the Classic Cup, just went around in the mile, settled at the rear in a recent trial and finished okay. Just sort of questioned his will to sort of finish here. He just looked a little bit one pace maybe at the line, I thought, Decrypt.
Yeah, they've got two options really, is go forward, be positive, or drop in and just ride in for a turn of foot and try and run past some beaten horses. But that's Decrypt. Butterfield, I've heard a few people suggesting that this might be a one to consider as well. You've got Columbus County, Super Oasis, Savvy 9 and Amazing Beats, who we'll look at again in a moment. Yeah,
he's interesting, the Brazilian bred. Went around on the second here, beating home Columbus County, Super Oasis, Savvy 9. Of course, he is a two-time Group 1 winner in his own right, over 16 and 2,400 metres. The one he was disqualified in was over 2,000 metres, so there'll be no concerns with the trip, and he has trialled at Happy Valley over 1,700 metres recently.
Yeah, he has, and look, he got the perfect run and he took advantage of it, didn't he? And he did win nice enough.
Yeah, but he's got that wide gate. That was the one thing that slightly put me off there. We can see Columbus County and Super Oasis, who were beaten on that occasion. Amazing Beats, you might have noticed, was a little bit unlucky. Was going for a gap, didn't appear. This time, he gets the gap. It's a small margin, but it's a winning one for him. Yeah, so another one. They both had good runs. There wasn't too much between them. He took his luck on the inside, didn't he? Amazing Beats and just got the bobbin. So I don't think there's much between both these horses, but this was the same day as the Classic Cup, wasn't it? And I just thought the Classic Cup was the better form race, but these horses all ran well. Yeah,
really lifted over the final stages here. Columbus County beaten right on the line, really. Super Oasis stayed on well at the end, but Amazing Beats, there'll be no qualms with him getting the trip because, of course, he was a Derby winner in Tasmania, over 2,200.
Certainly was. He's nearly 80 to 1, Amazing Beats. 1.3 about Golden 60. Who wins this year's Derby, Paul? I'm
going to go with the stablemate to upset the party here with more than this. I think he can get the better run from barrier 1, barrier 9 for Golden 60. He's going to have a bit of luck because the first bend is pretty close from that 2,000 metre start. So I think there's no problems with more than this in the run. So I've gone with him to beat Golden 60. Champion's Way in there for third. I think he can stay the 2,000 metres with a good run in Columbus County. Just ahead of the other ones there. So 3-1-2-7. Look, I haven't gone outside the square. I reinvented the wheel by any stretch of the imagination, except for saying I think 3 can win it.
I've thought about it with Golden 60 and Champions Way and also More Than This, but in the end I thought gate number 1 is going to really suit More Than This time round. The cheek pieces, which is interesting, they have of course tried the blinkers and he just didn't really seem to handle those blinkers, but in that track work there we see him with the cheek pieces on and he's seemed to have handled them pretty well. So I'll go 3 More Than This from the good draw. I think he can sit closer. He can get a little bit lazy when he's raced back in the pack, but 3 on top to beat 1 Golden 60. Can't deny that he's won 9 from 10 and he's been brilliant in doing so. Columbus County and Butterfield on a minor line. 3, 1, 7 and 9. Double bankering the 1 and the 3 in the trio.
There you go. I think Francis Lloyd will train the Derby winner. But I've been with More Than This first 2 legs. Even made More Than This a best bet last time out. But if you can't beat him, join him. Golden 60, I think he's just better than the rest of them, so he goes on top. My 2 ones at prices, Columbus County and Amazing Beats. I'll be looking at them each way. Should be a great race, so the Derby. Vincent Ho, Francis Lloyd, Golden 60 with the odds-on favourites. All right, still 2 more races to go. Race number 9, back to Class 3 company for the 9th over the 1,400 metres for the collection handicap.